Hi teachers, welcome to the first video in section 1 of a short video series on iStation. So section 1 has 5 short videos. Part A is the one you're going to watch right now, and we're going to look at the ISIP and its assessment features. The next one will be all about logging in for teachers and students. Part C will look at the teacher dashboard and how to navigate the iStation program. Part D will look at iStation's newest assessment, the oral reading fluency, that's available for grades K-3 in English. And the last video will be some parent resources, since students are now using the iStation program and taking the ISIP at home. Let's talk about the assessment features. So some general information about iStation. iStation is a computer adaptive program, which means that iStation will automatically adjust questions based on student responses. So questions will become easier or more difficult depending on how students answer. Teachers can then get a better picture of what students can and can't do in each of the subtest areas of the ISIP. We'll look at those in a minute. The ISIP, or iStation's Indicators of Progress Assessment, takes about 30 to 45 minutes to complete. iStation uses a game-like format for students, so the setting is that they are space cadets attending the Right Stuff University. So here's how it works. The first time that students log into the program, they are automatically prompted to take the iStation screener, or the ISIP, the one that takes 30 to 45 minutes. Once that ISIP is complete, students are dropped into an individualized learning pathway, also called a cycle of instruction in the iStation program. Their individualized learning pathway is based on the results of their ISIP, so iStation will determine which skills students still need to work on. And that's what they'll be working on each time they log into the iStation program. It's important to know that iStation does have some other instructional materials, such as lessons, assignments, guided reading books, and other supplemental instructional materials, but these are optional. Since each time the students log in, there's nothing that teachers have to do because iStation has already determined which skills students need to work on. So those are available, but they are optional, and a different video will cover those more closely. So students will work in their individual learning pathway for the remainder of the month after the ISIP, and then the following month, the first school day that students log into the program, they'll automatically be prompted to take the ISIP again. So teachers will have lots of progress monitoring throughout the year because each month students will be prompted to take that ISIP assessment. So let's look at what's being assessed. Here is pre-K and kinder. This is the list of subtests for the ISIP. And here is first grade. So you'll notice that in kindergarten, the oral reading fluency is that new assessment that's available starting in kindergarten and going up to 3rd grade. You'll also notice that in first grade, there's this text fluency subtest that has a little asterisk next to it, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Here are the subtest lists for 2nd and 3rd grade, as well as 4th through 12th grade. And again, you'll see text fluency with the asterisk here and oral reading fluency with the asterisk. So just a quick reminder, there's nothing that teachers have to do on your end to schedule the ISIP assessment. It'll automatically show up for students when they log into iStation. And once they're done, the overall reading score will show up for you on your teacher side, which is a separate video. It's important to note that that overall reading score that you're going to see on your teacher page, that the fluency measures are not included. So the oral reading fluency nor the text fluency are not part of that overall reading score. So here's what's already been done for you. iStation is one of our single sign-on programs. So students simply go to their Chromebooks and they log in. It's not routed through Clever, so they simply click on it and it takes them right to the program. The other thing is that students have already been rostered to you and all of your information is already uploaded to iStation. Additionally, an assessment schedule has been developed. So some considerations for your students. You'll likely want to remind them to charge their Chromebooks the night before the assessment, and if they have headphones or earbuds, to get them ready. So again, just a reminder, students log in and they'll automatically be taken to that ISIP. And after they're done, they'll automatically be dropped into their instructional cycle for reading. And we'll look at those closely in a second. So the other important thing to remember is that you want students to take the ISIP in one sitting, not to break it up into parts. They want to block out that 30 to 45-minute time frame in order to take the ISIP. So here's a general picture of what those 15 cycles of instruction look like. When students finish the ISIP, they could be dropped into one of these learning pathways. So it goes, you can see the progression from emergent up to progressing adolescent. And there is a way to look at these more specifically. So I did put a link here for the interactive user's guide, and this will break down those cycles with more specific information of what students are working on when they log into the program, depending on the cycle they're placed in. This is just a small example of the pre-reading cycle, cycle 0, 1, and 2. So Harupa is recommending that students work 20 minutes per day in the iStation program once their ISIP is complete. When we had traditional school, students were working about 15 minutes a day, and it was only students who had a license. We had limited number of licenses at each school site. Now, all of our students have a license, so the recommendation is 20 minutes per day. What you see here on the right-hand side is just the recommendations from iStation, and also for traditional settings. So just keep in mind, students in Harupa, it's recommended they spend 20 minutes per day using the iStation program. Stay tuned for the next video on how teachers and students log in. Thank you.